Hey guys, welcome to Galaxy Sparkles, where I turn imagination into reality. Thank you for tuning in and giving me a few minutes of your time. Leave a comment below and let me know how my craftsmanship has came along. Also like and share this video. And if you'd like to watch my progression as a one-stop shop, subscribe and let us take the journey together. Galaxy Sparkles.
Good morning, guys. It is Thursday, January 9th, 2025. Today we are going to create the pineal gland ring. I'm going to have like a pineal shape, sort of similar to a pineal gland in the very middle. And then I'm going to have two small little sparklies to the left and the right, representing the left hemisphere of the pineal gland and the right hemisphere of the pineal gland. So it's all just drawn up in my imagination, and we'll see if we can't create my imagination into reality like we do almost every day. Although sometimes my imagination outweighs the craftsmanship of my hands, it still gets fairly close. So let's see what we can create today, guys. We're going to start with this piece of 1.5 inch plumbing pipe that I have received from one of my friends. I used to be a plumber, and I can get this plumbing pipe pretty much. I've got some 2-inch over there that I got for free, which is about $50 worth of material, no big deal. And then I got this 1.5 inch. I had it about approximately a little over 6 feet, which is no telling how much that's worth these days. But I've been out of the plumbing business for about 2.5 years. I owned my own business for 13 years, and I was a plumber ever since I graduated high school. I mean, it's basically all I ever known. You know, just a little past high school, and I worked for my father and my grandfather, my great-grandfather. My father was a plumber. You know, it's just kind of a handed-down deal. But anyway, I'm no longer a plumber. I've retired from plumbing, and I create jewelry just for fun, guys. And I just throw some imagination out there, and I just make it happen. So let's begin creating the pineal gland ring. All right, guys, y'all hang tight. We're going to get busy. Here we go. All right, guys, I'm going to retake that. I usually try to do everything in one take without having to stop and do it over, but I had some music in my ear this morning, and I was really jamming to some of my kind of tunes and with words. But I'm back to my upbeat music, my little jazz rock and roll with no words whatsoever, just instrumental. So I'll be able to talk. A while ago, I was listening to that words were being put in my ear where I'm trying to speak, and it was baffling my mind. But anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to split this 1.5 inch copper that I just cut. We're approximately 17 mils wide at the moment, but we are going to shorten the width because we're going to do some sanding on the side of it to get rid of them little ridges right there. So we're going to split it in half. We're going to anneal it, quench it, pickle it, and we're going to do what we do. So that's going to be the first steps, guys. So let's begin by cutting this little unit in half, or splitting it. There we go. I'm get my little catch tray over here. Don't make too big a mess. I'm getting a lot better at sawing, guys. I've learned to actually saw without breaking blades, and I've learned to actually just stroke in the direction of the blade. I know you're supposed to stroke on the cut on the downside, but I actually got my blade flipped right now, so I'm just kind of cutting on the upstroke in this particular one. I need to flip my blade and do it the right way, but this way we're going to do it for this moment. When I break a blade, I'll try to remember to flip the blade back around. So I use beeswax for lubricant. I got enough beeswax down there that'll last me 4 or 5 lifetimes if I only use it for lubricant. That's the only size of block they had of the stuff, and I just went ahead and purchased it. So we got enough beeswax to last the rest of this lifetime, that's for sure. So all right, guys, let me get this cut. Let me get this thing split real quick and I'll get right back with you. Y'all hang tight, all right? All right, guys, we got our piece right there split, and here's a piece I had some leftover material from a few projects back, whichever project it was. I got a few pieces of scrap, but we're going to use that for the bezel for the pinion, and I got a couple ideas what we're going to do for the rest of it. So let's get this thing annealed real quick and quench pickled and get it out to the mill. All right, guys, here we go. Y'all hang tight. All right, guys, I got my bezel made for the pineal gland part, and then we're going to have a left hemisphere and a right hemisphere. So what I'm going to do is solder that up right there, cut the excess off. I know it's not perfectly the shape of a pineal gland, but it's for representation, guys. It's all about representation, symbolism. All right, guys, so here's like I said, this is the bezel for the pineal gland stone, and we're going to solder that thing up, quench it, pickle it, and then we're going to pull out our 1.5 inch out of the pickle and begin making this unique masterpiece. All right, guys, here we go. Y'all hang tight. Let's solder this up together. I gained a lot of XP points yesterday, guys, taking that extremely hard task that I really wasn't craftsmanship ready wise. All right, it just took. So yeah, we gained a lot of XP points yesterday, guys. Today I'm feeling pretty froggy, so we're going to attempt something a little simpler, but just should go fairly well. All right, guys, it flowed in there real nicely, so we're going to quench it, pickle it, and we're going to pull out the other piece. And once we get it out of the pickle, we'll go ahead and cut that excess right there and set it to the side until it's ready to be attached to the ring we're fixing to create. So here we go, guys. Y'all hang tight. All right, guys, we got all the crud and the BS off of it. And just look how beautiful this copper is. Copper is so beautiful of the color. I really love the color of copper. I really love the color of gold. It's so expensive, and with my knowledge, with the knowledge I have, there's just no way I can begin to learn with gold. So as cheap as copper is and as beautiful it is, heck, I'm very fortunate and very lucky to get to be the one to get to actually work with it. And with this thing annealed, look how easy that is. Could you imagine trying to pull apart a piece of 1.5 inch copper without it being annealed like that? So freaking amazing. I love this stuff. I love what I'm doing, and I'm thankful y'all have joined. And if you've stuck around this far, please just like, comment, subscribe. Give me some constructive criticism, guys, because I am new to this stuff and I don't know much about it. All I know is I put my heart into this thing. I put a lot of energy. I put a lot of imagination, a lot of love, and a lot of joy into this stuff, guys. And I tried to, at the very end of this video, give everyone a special gift that makes it that far, guys. If you can make it to the end of the videos, I always leave a very special gift for the entire universe, guys. There's so much energy in it, it can transfer over into other parallel universes, guys. Other universes, there's so much energy in it. And if you ever catch one of them energy balls that I tossed at y'all toward the end of the video, it's going to knock you down, guys. So if you do happen to try to see one coming and you're trying to attempt to catch it, you better brace yourself because it's going to knock you down, guys. So let's get this thing milled down here just a little bit, just to get the edge right there. I don't know if you can see that right there, guys, but there's a little lip on each side from where the cutters dig into it. So we're going to mill that flat. We'll get it over on the sander and bring it down a little ways and carry on. So here we go. Y'all hang tight. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and begin laying this ring out. What I've got is 68 millimeters made up right there, so that way I have a little bit of leeway to get it, if I lose a mill here or mill there, to sand it down to square it up so we can solder it up. We'll still be able to fit our ring finger. 68 millimeters should get us close to the middle finger size. So let's go ahead and get this ring laid out, find the center, and do what we do around here at Galaxy Sparkles, turn imagination into reality. All right, guys, y'all hang tight. Here we go. Na, 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 na. half of 68 is 44, 34, 34. And bam. All right, guys, y'all hang tight. I'm gonna get that cut at 68, and then I got my centerpiece right there made where my bezel's actually gonna sit. So, and then we're gonna have a left hemisphere brain and the right hemisphere brain set right in the middle, or have our pineal gland right in the middle, right there on our mark. Bam! Right side hemisphere and a left hand hemisphere. So let me get this cut. We're going to find center where our hemispheres are going to go, and we're going to go from there, guys, one step at a time. Y'all hang tight. All right, guys, there we found our center of our ring right there, and that's how our pineal gland is going to sit. And now I need to find the center of the width and get it just as close as I possibly can to the pineal gland that represents each hemisphere of our brain. So, all right, guys, here we go. We're going to do a little more calculating here, get this thing marked out, and we'll begin forming this bad boy up. So you guys hang tight. I'm enjoying this process. I'm having a good time today, guys. I hope y'all are having a good time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll take some constructive criticism too. I'll even take any kind of criticism. I don't mind. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings. All right, guys, here we go. Y'all hang tight. All right, guys, I'm getting my marks here for where I'm going to drill. What I'm going to do is drill into the band right here so that my stones, my left hemisphere and my right hemisphere are sitting flush inside of the ring itself. And then our pineal gland is going to stand out just a little bit, just like that. With our right hemisphere flush and our left hemisphere flush, guys. That's what it's going to look like. Something right there. I got it nice and laid out. I'm going to take my center punch and get us our hole there ready with my little center punch. And we're going to go out in the garage and drill the size of hole that we need for our stones to sit in so that they sit flush in our ring here, guys. So y'all hang tight. I'm going to get this thing center punched up. And I'll see y'all out in the garage drill this thing together. Here we go. Y'all hang tight. All right, guys, we're going to start with a small bit and probably work our way up to the whichever the proper size is. I'm not quite sure which one of these we're going to go to, but I know we're going to start with a small one, and then we'll jump a pretty good increment from there. We'll probably move up to one of these bigger ones once we get our pilot hose started. It's just the pilot hole needs to be pretty accurate. So here we go, guys. We're going to get started. What I have done also is got our center punches nice and center punched there. This one is just a little off, but not by much. And I mean, it's just, I'm going to try to correct that with the bigger drill bit here in just a minute. So you guys hang tight. I'm going to get after it. All right, guys, we got our pilot hose started there, so now we can move up to the next size that I think is sufficient, and we'll go from there. Keep on moving up till our stone fits in there nice and flush, and get busy on this thing. Here we go. I'm having a good time. You having a good time? I'm having a great time, guys. I'm enjoying the heck out of myself. So, all right, guys, I'm going to continue on. Y'all hang tight. All right, guys, what you can see what I'm doing now, I got my holes drilled to the proper size that the stone won't fall all the way through. And now I'm going to just kind of bevel it without going all the way through the metal, because we don't want the stone going all the way through. So we're going to leave a nice little bevel right there so the stone sits in there nice and flush and all that good stuff. So one step at a time, guys. Here we go. We're moving on. Y'all hang tight. All right, guys, I got both sides pretty close to equally beveled there. I'm actually probably need to go a little bit further of a bevel. The only thing is, I'm afraid, I got to thinking, and when I get to thinking, that's probably never the greatest thing ever. But anyway, I got to thinking that whenever I wrap this around the mandrel, it's probably going to kind of make my holes feel kind of move and stretch a little bit. So I'm going to wait till I get this wrapped around the mandrel to finish beveling that out. That way it's nice and uniform and everything sits in there nice and pretty like it's supposed to. So I'm gonna go in here and get ready to wrap this around the mandrel. We're gonna square our cuts up. I left it's just a little long on each end, so it gives me enough room. It gives me about 1 millimeter on each side to square up. So let's get in here and continue on, guys. Here we go. I'm gonna see y'all at the bench. Y'all hang tight. All right, guys, I got that wrapped around the mandrel real nice. My little hemispheres are, my little left brain hemisphere and right hand hemisphere is a little, now that I've stretched it around the mandrel, has actually gone a little far, but it is what it is on this one, guys. I could have came in, I should have waited till I wrapped around the mandrel. I could have got a different perspective of it after I wrapped it around the mandrel. I just had a different idea in my mind how it was going to work out, and unfortunately I'll know for next time. Unfortunately this time it's going to be a little cattywampus, but it's really not too bad considering, but it is a little far off there. Oh shit, and I just realized something. I just wrapped it around the wrong end, I think. No, I didn't. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and continue on. I don't like how far my hemispheres are laying down on the side of the ring, but it's probably going to be covered up. Next time I'll know to go ahead and wrap it around the mandrel. That way I can come in at an angle, and I'd be able to be probably quite a bit higher actually on. But anyway, it is what it is. This is a learning process. I'm still enjoying myself, having a good time, and hoping you're having a good time too. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me some constructive criticism. Let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and how I can possibly do better. And if I could put my mind in my hands and make the magic happen by uniting my mind, my imagination with the craftsmanship of my hands, then that's what we'll do, guys. But I'm going to continue working daily, improving my quality of my videos, improving my craftsmanship on my jewelry, and gaining all the equipment necessary to make this a one-stop shop in the future. So, all right, guys, I'm going to quit jibber-jabbering. I'm going to continue on. I'm going to cut this ring right here so that we're able to solder it up. I got them overlapping right there. We're going to make one cut. That way it's nice and uniform, put it together, hopefully seamlessly. We're going to do some seamless soldering today, hopefully, guys. So here we go. Y'all hang tight. All right, guys, my cutting skills are no good at this time. I'm definitely going to have to improve on my cutting skills. I had it soaked bad out of cattywampus a while ago, and I took it out to the sander and tried to square it up a little bit, but I just keep fouling up. So I'm going to stop right there. We're definitely going to have a gap up top and a little gap in the bottom. I got it pretty good right there in the middle. I think I can seal that little gap, but we're still going to have a gap in the top and a gap in the bottom, and there just ain't going to be nothing I can do about it on this ring. Just have to try to do better next time. It's a dang shame, but I got it nice and flush. It is flush. It's just I'm going to have a little gap. So I'm going to pickle this thing and prepare to solder it up, and then we'll get our bezels mounted on top, and we'll get it back outside and go ahead and finish our bevels on our hemispheres, on our brain hemispheres. So y'all hang tight, and we're gonna finish this ring up, and hopefully it don't turn out like Who Done It. All right, guys, here we go. All right, guys, we're gonna solder this ring up right here with our third arm holding it. All right, guys, our copper is coming up to temperature there. It should be getting ready to almost ready to take some solder. So let's solder this thing up together right here, guys. There is going to be a little gap like I told you earlier, but here we go. Let's see what happens. Ooh, it's flowing like a champ. All right, guys, I got that bad boy soldered up. We're gonna quench it, pickle it, clean it up a little bit, and see what we got to work with there. So y'all hang tight. All right, guys, I have another tool here that I'm gonna get to incorporate in my work today that I have not used in the past. I've had this tool now probably for 3 weeks, and I have not got to use it yet. It is holding the bezel to the top of that ring, and we're gonna get to maybe solder this thing up. So let's heat it up and see what happens. Here we go. I hope that thing's square. I got it. It's hard to see from this angle right here, but I had it real close. I had it pretty close to square before I set it down. I don't know if it's moved, but we're gonna take our stick solder and hopefully make this happen. So here we go, guys. Let's solder this bad boy up. What I'm going to do is get this thing soldered up. I'm going to let it sit for just a second, and I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to do the other side, guys. That way it don't move on me in the process when it's real hot. I don't want to move it until it kind of cools off a little bit and sets up. So that is my game plan at this point. Maybe not much of a game plan, but that's the only one I got, the only way I know how. So here we go. That thing's heating up real nice, guys. We're getting pretty close to color for it to take, so we're going to lay some sauce to it here in just a second. There she goes. Lay the sauce to it, man. All right. We're going to let that sit just for a second. Let it sit pretty. Let it do its thing so it don't move on us. We're going to take these tongs, we're going to flip it over and hit the other side. Here we go. Spin this around so we can see what we're working with. And actually, guys, it looks like it's already took on this side, so we're not going to mess with that. I'm going to pull just a little bit more from the other side. I've had so much solder on it. I'm going to go ahead and pull a little over here, but it looks like it's already took, so we're not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to heat it up and pull that solder right over to this heat. Just like that. All right, guys, I have completed the pineal ring. It did come out a little out of uniform though. Whenever I went to solder the bezel on, it definitely got out of square. Just the way it happened, just the way it worked out. I think next time, whenever I do remake this, because I do plan on remaking this to get better at it, I can definitely do better. I've already know a few different things I can do different to make this ring better. Next time I'll solder the bezel on while the piece is flat. I don't think I'm going to drill the holes until the ring itself is actually formed around the mandrel. That way I can come in at an angle so it's not all out of cattywampus there a little bit. So my left hemisphere is definitely a lot lower than my right hemisphere. So it's kind of like my eye a little crooked like that, but I'll get my good eye on it next time and get it squared up. So that's definitely going to be we're going to do this ring different in the near future and make it better. I'm going to duplicate this ring probably sometime next week, just guessing. We're going to definitely make the band itself narrower, because I definitely got way too wide of a band. I was trying to accommodate for the bezel itself. I just had a different idea, but after looking at this, I don't like the outcome of it. It's just way too wide. Although it does fit my finger and it's very fat, it's just a little too meaty for my liking. But other than that, guys, just know one thing, that this Peniel it's firing on all cylinders and definitely doing some receiving from the universe, guys. So as far as all that goes, we're going to leave it a grade of a D minus. A D minus. That's just, my sander has completely destroyed. I was trying to get right up against the bezel and really clean it up, and it was just hacking the heck out of it. I'm going to have to get me a polisher in the near future just to bring my craftsmanship level up. If I get a polisher, it'll give me a full grade every time, because I'll be able to finish out the ring and make it real nice and won't have all these gouges and things like that. But guys, it's just a learning process for me. Every day on the bench is a little bit more XP points, and I'm going to get better and better, and in time we'll master this thing just like I mastered plumbing, guys. So like I said, this pineal gland is definitely firing on all cylinders, and we are a receiver. We are a receiver around here at Galaxy Sparkles, guys. So y'all hang tight, and we will see y'all tomorrow. And like always, guys, I'm going to leave you a huge energy ball full of energy, full of joy, full of love, full of connectedness, and full of imagination, guys, coming at you. All right, guys, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all hang out.